working on the backhoe today, doing a little maintenance. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the valves. Something probably needs to be done once in a while. And I'm going to take this crossover off. I could probably get more access if I pulled the muffler off and the air filter and the hood, but if I don't have to mess with all that stuff, it'll make the job a little bit quicker, I think. We will see. I might end up pulling it all off, but I think I can get to it that way. Is I've got, if you look in the book, they say to turn the engine until these two valves are both tight on number 4, and if you do that, you can adjust the valves on number 1, you can adjust both. On number 2, you can adjust the intake, which is the shorter. On number 3, you can adjust the exhaust, which is the longer. And what I'm adjusting is 10 on the intake, 20 on exhaust, and I hope these are the right directions. Should be. Most diesels are around those specs on exhaust and intake. So this ought to be an easy little project here, I hope, if everything goes right. Usually nothing goes right, but and our intake is this shorter one, and we are loose. Not surprising, this backhoe has a lot of hours on it. And I hate to admit it, but I did not do the recommended valve adjustments. So, it's pretty loose. Adjusting valves takes a little bit of patience. It actually takes a lot of patience, because when you tighten this down and get everything the way you want it, and then you tighten up the lock nut, it usually loosens, just like it did right there. And it just takes a feel for it. You just gotta, everyone's different that I've ever adjusted. I mean, once you get used to it on an engine, it's easier. But and I like to take my feeler gauges apart, take them out of the holder so that they're just loose. It's a lot easier to get a good feel for them. That one there is good. So we got number 1 intake. Let's see about this exhaust here. She's pretty loose too. This thing ought to run a little better and get these adjusted up. It'll make a little less noise, make a little more horsepower probably. So just run them down till they're snug. And you want a light drag on your feeler gauge, or that's the way I like to do it. I set it a little bit tight, and then when I tighten this, It'll actually loosen up just a little bit. So there's the exhaust. Make sure I got her tight enough it don't back off. Alright. That one's good. So now we can adjust our intake on number 2. It's loose. Now if you ever adjusting these and you figure out one of them's tight, that normally means your valve seats are going away or your valves are burned. Normally you will lose clearance if you've got burnt valve or something like that, but if your clearance increases, that's kind of normal. It's a little bit tight. You just want a light drag. That's it. Okay, now we'll do the exhaust on number 3, and then I'll have to turn the engine over. See, that was 10. That's right. That one's loose too. They're all consistently loose, which is a good sign. That means everything's wearing, how would you say it, consistently, evenly. And if you wanted to, I mean, on a 4-cylinder, it's not such a big deal, but if you're doing a 6-cylinder, it's a good idea to mark the ones you adjusted. And that way, when you're done, you can look and see if you missed one. On a 4-cylinder, there's only 8 on, I mean, not that complicated. And what I'm going to do is put a paint mark on my pulley. That way I know where I'm at on this set, and I'll turn the engine over 1 turn. Yeah, I gotta get the right size socket first. And what we're looking for is both valves tied on number 1 this time. Right now our exhaust valve is open. It's actually pushed down. That means it's on the exhaust stroke on number 1. That means our running mate cylinder is number 4 with number 1, so it's on compression. The pistons are coming up. When we get the valve overlap at the top, that's when we want to stop and do our valve adjustment. And this one is still, well, it's starting to tighten up. And this one's starting to shut. So that's there's just a little bit of overlap where both valves are still open just a tiny bit, and that's where you want to stop. This works the same on 6-cylinder Cummins. Like I say, this is not actually labeled a Cummins, but it's a Cummins clone basically. So now we're ready to adjust the ones we missed. So we've got intake on number 3, exhaust on 2, and both on 4. So we'll start at the front and work back. This is an exhaust, so we need our number 20. And we're loose. See how loose it is. It's probably, it's not quite 30 thousandths. It's probably 25 or something. steady, just gotta play with it. You don't want to feel your parts move when you put that in and out. You just want a little drag on it. That's a little bit tight actually right there. So I've seen a lot of guys adjust valves, and there's a lot of guys I wouldn't let touch mine because they'll pinch that feeder gauge down where the valve spring's open and pull it out like that right there, and you can hear it snap. That's way too tight. I mean, it takes a little bit of patience and a little bit of there we go. I like it. And then once you tighten it up, be sure and double check it. And you just want I don't like it. That's still just a bit tight. I don't know. That's a really sensitive deal. Sometimes they just, okay, that's loose. And if you lean on your wrench here, it changes that just a little bit. I mean, you can actually loosen up by holding that down. So you don't want to have any pressure on it. You want it to just be sitting there. This is just, the other ones went so easy. Let's do this way here. And we're too tight again. Dadgummit. If you're in a hurry, don't do your valves. That is just about too tight. That's a little too loose. This thing here is sensitive for some reason. I like it just right. There's a good drag on it. Perfect. Okay, moving on to intake. I wanted the wrong one there. That one's shut, so let's see if the 20 will go in there. That ain't that loose. It's loose, but not that loose. That's just about where I like it there. Okay, I think that little project's pretty much done. Fired up and running a little bit, see if we got any leaks on anything. Should be good to go.